Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is part 3 of our Zentangle lesson, and I've been so impressed with all of the work that you've been posting on our Google Classroom. Keep up the good work. I want to get started today because we are very close to finishing this unit with our drawing. So we're going to go to our little screen and screen here, and you're going to see me down below right here. And this is kind of where I left off with you. I said what I'd like you to do is I want you to finish your Zentangle by outlining all your lines with a ballpoint pen, a Sharpie, magic markers, whatever you have in your house. So I'm almost finished here. I was just going to finish outlining my little curve lines, which I was inspired by all the rainbows around our neighborhood when it wasn't raining. And I thought how cool it would be to make a little Zentangle up that looked like mini rainbows. So I thought that was cool. And also, since we're on part 3 today of our lesson, one of the cool things I was thinking about is black and white tends to look really nice because white and black are opposite on our spectrum of colors. They have a lot of contrast when they're next to each other. Um, so today is the part where we clean up our work and we decide what kind of options we are using with color. And what I want you to start thinking about is I know a lot of you have really nice art sets at home that you would love to use for this lesson. And some of you don't have a lot of art sets at home. You may have little crayons from brother and sister or when you were younger. So you're going to use whatever you have around your house. But this is my finished Zentangle. I'm pretty happy with the black and white. I went through and I added some little dots in the P for Peters for my initial. And I colored in some of my spaces. I thought it would look better to have some darker or thicker black lines. And I was contemplating doing that up here as well, but I'm going to wait because I think I want to see what this looks like with color. So after you go over all of your lines with your Sharpie, you're going to see that there are some pencil lines left behind. So whatever clean eraser you have, now notice this is a new vinyl eraser, but you can use your pink eraser on your pencil. Just have one that doesn't leave like pink streaks. Sometimes erasers on cheap pencils leave the streaks. If you have an old white eraser that's a little bit dirty on the edges, all you have to do is take a scrap sheet of paper and just kind of clean it by erasing it. And then you're going to see that you're going to have a nice white area on your eraser so that you can have no smudges. So what we'll do, let me give you a tip because I see a lot of students when they do this, they end up crinkling their paper. So you want to put your hands down, all right? And then you're going to take your eraser and you're just going to little back and forth. Sometimes I get kids that do the whole thing and then they rip their paper. So in between your fingers, you're going to clean up your space. You're going to get rid of all those pencil lines that you went over with your Sharpie. And you get rid of all the dust or the leftover eraser residue. And this is what makes it look really, really crisp, clean, professional. And this gets our surface ready for color because color is our next step. So turn it as many times as you need to. Oh my gosh, look at the difference there. That looks better already compared to this side. Some of you can't see it as well because I'm not zoomed in so far, but I can see a difference already. So this is one of those necessary steps that most people wouldn't consider doing because they think they were very accurate with all of their pencil lines. But when you do this, goodness, it really brings your Zentangle to life. And it makes it look very professional and clean and crisp, like an artwork that deserves to be in our Arts Extravaganza, which I would normally put these in the Arts Extravaganza after I grade them. However, we don't know if we're going to have that Arts Extravaganza this year. So cross your fingers and save your artwork because I've been seeing some really, really nice pieces. So once you erase, you can recognize, like, if you missed a spot. You can also recognize if you need to take your Sharpie and maybe touch up some areas where the lines need to be joined. Or you can go over certain areas. So you do have the option to keep this black and white. However, if you keep it black and white, what I'd like you to do is don't just have one line weight. I'd like some thicker lines that are colored in. I'd like some thinner lines. So the more variety of line that you have, it's going to look a little bit more professional. It's going to look a little bit better. Notice I missed a few spots. Okay, as far as color goes, whatever you have in your house. So this is a Sharpie set that was a gift from Miss Paternostro. She got this for me a couple years ago. And all the Sharpies on here are fine tip. This I've had for a while. These are really thin Stabilo pens. They're super nice. And I like them a lot, but they're really fine. You can use whatever color pencils you have. I know I'm an art teacher, so I try to get some nice ones for myself in my own personal collection. But if you have Crayola washable markers, if you have Crayola crayons, if you have whatever is available in your house, you could even paint this if you had a little brush. I'm okay with whatever you have available to you. So I think I'm going to try out some colors before I get right onto my Zentangle. And I'm not gonna do the whole thing in color, but I'm gonna do parts of it in color. So I always like to have a scrap sheet of paper because when you test your colors, sometimes when you get your pens, they don't always look exactly like the way that they look on the cap. So that's art teacher tip number 1. 2 is once you put that color down, you can't really erase that. That's not coming up. So you want to make sure you test your colors. Now this is a really nice Prismacolor pencil. If you have crayons at home, you can get really bold, vibrant colors just the same way with pressing down just a little bit harder to get your colors to be vivid. And I think there's something very satisfying with all of these colored pencils like this. So I'm going to keep it, it's my personal set, so I try to take good care of it. All right, so I'm ready for color, and I'm going to keep my little piece of paper handy just in case I want to test some of my colors. But I'm really drawn to turquoises. That's my favorite color. It reminds me of the water and tropical islands. So I'm just going right over the top of some of those little dots that I made. And they're getting covered up a little bit, but look at that beautiful turquoise. That rocks. You definitely do not need to color in your letter. You could leave one area, a whole bunch of black and white, or you could really get in with the color. You can use a variety of materials like your color pencils and your markers and your crayon. Any student who is using watercolor paint, just a quick word to the wise here. If you're using watercolor paint, notice I'm going back through and getting all those white spaces in there. Woo, I like it. Very nice. You know what? I'm going to take a darker turquoise. Let's see what this looks like. Sometimes it's good to just experiment right on your artwork because then you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. See what happens. I'm going to go over with this darker turquoise to make like that ombre effect. Okay, back to my watercolor. If you are using watercolor on very thin paper, like computer paper, there is a good possibility if you saturate the paper, it's going to put a hole in all your hard work. So unless you have some hard or thicker paper, I highly suggest that you kind of don't use watercolor on it or just use minimal water. All right, this is subtle, the turquoise to turquoise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another deeper turquoise. This one is called peacock blue, but if I go over it, so I'm overlaying one color on top of the other. Ooh, this will look really good in my bathroom because these are my bathroom colors. or the color behind my desk in school. I definitely think we need to frame this. Look at that. That's awesome. So have fun experimenting with your color pencils and your colors. I want to show you a really cool tip with color pencils if you're using them. A lot of times students don't necessarily realize what the white is for. What you can do with the white is you can lighten up some areas. So I went from like dark turquoise to medium turquoise to lighter. But if I want to make it even lighter, you just take the white and go over the top. That's called burnishing. And what that'll do is it's going to blend in some of the tooth of the paper. So sometimes you see like little white spots in there. That's the thick, the roughness of the paper, even though the paper's not really rough, but it's called the tooth. I swear I didn't make that up. That's what it's called. And you can burnish and go right over the top of the white one and lighten up those areas. Just make sure when you use your white color pencil, you see that? It always picks up the other colors. So make sure you clean it off on your scrap sheet before you get a new color or you burnish it with another color. All right, so I'm liking my kind of like tropical water scene here. I like the idea that I did with the rainbows, but I'm gonna like pop it with some yellow here. So we did a cool color, now we're gonna do some warm colors. So I think I'm gonna do some yellows in here. When you do your yellows, just be careful you don't go over the black that much. If you do, you're gonna see the waxy residue on there. All right, here we go. So I'm going to continue coloring this area yellow. I think just a nice solid yellow will look good. I can always do the ombre effect if I feel the need to, but that's one thing you don't have to decide till later. And I'm very pleased with the color pencils the way they look at this point. So I don't even know if I'm going to use my markers, but I have them available to me if I want. Let's see. I like this, this is just orange, but I like the way it looks, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have some of, what part do I want to do orange? I am going to do that little effect where I overlay a color on top of another, and then you can kind of see, looks a little bit like fire, or a bird with assorted colored feathers, like a parrot or a toucan. Ooh, yeah, I like it. That's pretty sweet. All right, so this is what I have for you today. What I'd like you to do is color in. One, clean up all your pencils after you went through with your Sharpie or your ballpoint pen. Two, once it's cleaned up, you're going to go through and you're going to add color to all of it, to some of it, to none of it. Just if you're going the black and white route, I'm cool with that. Just make sure that you are varying your line weights. So some are thicker and some are thinner, like this one. And you can always go and add more. Like I'm kind of looking at this section. I'm like, maybe I should add some more lines, or maybe I should just add some colors to it. My advice is take your time and have fun with it. And what I'd like you to do is when you're all finished, and I'm doing this in advance, and normally we don't sign on the frame, but since we got a lot going on our artwork, sign on the frame. And that is how I know it's done. I like to put the date on it too when I made it. And send me a picture. I want to see your final Zentangles. It'd be cool to have like a picture of you like selfie with your artwork too. Please save these. If we come back to school, we can use them for our big art show coming up in May. They look really cool. Some really nice works of art can come out of Zentangles just by having a little bit of fun. So I will see you with your finished artwork. The grade sheet is posted on the lesson, so make sure you follow everything to earn 100 because that grade will be posted. And thank you for doing some artwork with me today. I will see you in 3 days with a brand new unit. So stay tuned. We're doing some more drawing. You're going to love it. Cube Town, here you come. All right. Have a great week. I will see you in 3 school days. Bye.